Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Stedman. Today I'll be teaching you how to crochet this beautiful hat. It's very easy to do. I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my video in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you want to see it in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you will find it in there. To make this hat, I'm going to use Bernat Premium, 188 grams, 7 ounces, 100% acrylic, medium 4, and the color is gold. I'm going to use one of these pom-pom. I bought this one at Michael. If you don't have one of these pom-pom, you can make your own with the yarn. You're going to need your hook, a 6.5 millimeter, tapestry needle and scissors, a marker, and a measurement tape. Like this, we're going to do our piece for our hat. And it measures 30 centimeters for the height, and that's 12 inches by 20 inches for the width. That is 51 centimeters wide. It's a really easy and pretty stitch, so it will look really beautiful. We're gonna start with a slip knot. And we're gonna make 40 chains. Once you have your 40 chain, I will meet you here. Here I have my 40 chains. Now we're going to chain 2 to turn our work around. Yarn over, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then number 4, you're going to do your first half double crochet. Yarn over. Passes through, you have 3 loops, you close those 3 loops. And like that, you're going to continue with your half double crochet. And counting that chain 2, you'll have 40 stitches. So like that, you're going to continue all the way until the end. I'm going to finish some of my last stitches here. And the last one. And like that, you finish your first row. Now we're going to work in row number 2. Now for round 2 or row 2, you're going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work around, and now we're going to work single crochet, but not your regular single crochet. This will be a little bit different. And something that I wanted to mention is usually when we do our single crochet, sometimes we make the mistake to do the first single crochet in the next chain space, leaving the first one without working. For single crochet, you only have to work the first stitch, otherwise you will be skipping one, because it's like a little square, the single crochet. It's not like the other ones. They are you go up and you count that one as the first one. So you never count that first chain as the first one. It's the single crochet that you count as the first one. So once you go with the chain 1, you're going to do a yarn over. We're going to work in the back strand of our stitches. Always every single one will be every single row in the back strand. So like this is the front, and you look on the top, you have 2 strands. So in this back strand is where you're going to work your stitch. So you're going to do a yarn over, you're going to pass your hook through the loop, you're going to pass the yarn through, you have 3, and that third one you're going to pass it through those 2. And that's how we're going to work our single crochet. Like to do a half double crochet, you do a yarn over, pass thread through, you have 3 loops, and instead of continuing to do the half double crochet, what you're going to do is just finish here that stitch, passing through those 2. And the trick to do this stitch is to tilt a little bit, to move the hook with a little hook to the back like that, with a little head to the back, and that will make the stitch easier. So it's the only way you can do it, is by doing this. So you're going to do a yarn over. You could pass your hook through the back strand. You have 3 loops and you pass the last one through those 2. You see, and by doing this, you pass it through those 2 loops very easy, like so. So if you try to do just with the head to the front, you see, when you try to pull, you're going to be passing through that one together with the other one, and that's not what we want to do. So just you have to move your hook to the back. So yarn over, you have 3 loops, pass it through those 2. Yarn over, always to the back strand, and you pass it through, and like that. And look how nice that stitch look. So like that, you're going to continue working all the way until the end. And let me do 2 of the regular single crochet. That way you see the difference. I did the yarn over. Look how different does the stitch look. This one look much nicer and tidier. So again, you do a yarn over, you have 3, and you pass it through those 2. Yarn over, you have 3, and pass through those 2. And you see the movement on my hook, all with the head to the back, and the stitch is done. So like that, you're going to continue all the way until the end of this row. Here I will show you one more time, a little more close. So you're going to do the yarn over, you're going to pass through the back strand, and you have 3, and just by twisting the hook, you pass it through those 2, and you done your stitch. Again, yarn over, pass through the back strand, you have 3, and twist the hook, and you pass your stitch through. So once you get the movement of your hook, it will be very easy for you to do that stitch, and it's a really nice looking stitch. Okay, so I will meet you here at the end of this row. Working at the end of the row. So and here, if you look, you have this stitch and you have your chain 2. So that's 2 separate stitches that you have to do. Because if you do just one in here, you will be skipping the last one, and it's really easy to do that. Okay, to make that mistake. So you're gonna come here, you're gonna pass it through. Pass through those 2 loops, and again yarn over, and you're gonna go to the second chain on the top, and you're gonna do the last one. You're gonna chain 2, you're gonna turn your work around, and you're ready to do row number 3. Now we're gonna work in row 3. So you did your 2 chains to turn your work around. So those 2 chains are on top of the first or the last single crochet that you did. Okay, if you do a yarn over and you do in the first back strand here a half a double crochet, you will increase in a stitch because you have the chain 2 in here already. Okay, that's always the first stitch, and then you go to the second one and you do your half double crochet, and if you count your stitches, you will have your 40. So always in the back strand, always we're going to work in the back strand, the 2 row, and those are the 2 row repetition that we're going to do for our entire hat. Once you get going with the row of single crochet, you'll find very easy and fast to do. So you continue like this, and I will meet you at the end of this row number 3. Gonna finish the 3rd row. And we're gonna do the last half double crochet, you see, on top of this single crochet. That is the one that you see in here. Okay, and the back strand. You do the last half double crochet, chain 1, turn your work around, and now we're going to work in row number 4, and look how even this is in here, nice and even, and so is in this other end out here. So now for row number 4 is the repetition of row 2. So you already did the chain 1, now you're going to do the yarn over, and if you look in here, beside the hook, you have that chain 1, and then you have this loop in here. And the back strand in here is where you're going to do your first single crochet. Exactly the same as row number 2. Yarn over, pass through the back strand, pass the strand through, and passes through those 2. Again, through the back, and pass through those 2. And the trick is, you see, moving the hook to the back like that. And you'll find easy, once you do a couple of times, you'll find it easy to do. So like that, you're going to continue all the way until the end. Doing your single crochet. Now we're going to work in the last stitches, and if you look at here, you still have 2 stitches. This one in here that you have the strand in the back is on top of this one, and then you have to do one on top of the chain, because if you do this one and you don't work the top of the chain thinking that that's it, that's the top of the chain, you'll be 1 stitch short. So you go yarn over and you go to the second chain on the top, and you do your last stitch. You chain 2 and you turn your work around to work in the next row. Now you turn your work around, and we're gonna work the half double crochet, and remember the first half double crochet is that chain 2, so you don't have to work on top of that single crochet. You go to the next one to do number 2, and you do your half double crochet, yarn over, you go to the next one and you do your half double crochet, and the back strand. Always on the back strand you're gonna work your stitches. Either you're doing the half double crochet or you're doing the single crochet, always in the back strand. So I recommend to use a marker to mark where you start the half double crochet, because it will get confusing, because let me tell you, I got confused a couple of times, and I decided to put a marker where I start with the half double crochet. Okay, so each time I'm starting where the marker is, I know I have to start with the half double crochet. I already have my piece here. This is one side and this one is the other side, so it's easier for you, let me tell you, to place a marker when you start the row of half double crochet. So like this, you're going to continue working with your half double crochet until you get to the end, and you're going to continue the repetition of those 2 rows, and one you do half double crochet and the other one you do the single. So like that, you're gonna continue working the 2 stitches, and just by changing that single crochet, look how nice the finish of the stitches. This is in the one side, and this one is in the other side of the stitch. You see, this is what create that beautiful single crochet, that stitch in there. So you're going to continue working. Remember, you have to do 30 centimeters by 51, but don't have to be exactly 30. Can be 31, 32. That can be 29, 28. But don't can be more or less than that. Otherwise, if it's less, you don't going to have enough to fold. And if it's more, you will have too much to fold. Okay? So around that measurement. So continue doing your piece, and I will meet you here when you have done yours and it's time to sew the ends together. Okay? Here I have my 20 inches done. Now I'm gonna cut a tail long enough to sew the side of the hat together, and then after we will close the top of the hat. Now you're gonna pick which side you want for the right side. If you want this one, where you see this beautiful stitch like this, or this one that is more like wave. This is the size that I pick. This is my right side. So we're gonna work our sewing between that strand and here that we have left from the chain space, and in here we have these single crochet. So in the top and here you have these 2 strands, and as you bring it to the side you have these 2. That is this one, that is for the top, and that one, and this one. You see the third one. So in the lower one is where we're gonna sew. That way when we sew there, we will have this nice stitch exactly the same as these ones in here. Okay? you're going to continue sewing your stitches, matching your stitch from one side with the other one in the other side. Remember, we started with 40 chains, so we have 40 single crochet, so we have 40 strands on one side and 40 in the other, and we had to work them even. Make sure that you don't skip one. You see, when you pass this one and this side, this one tend to hide underneath, so you have to make sure that you grab the right strand. That way you have an even work at the end. So it's not perfect, but pretty much very close to be perfect like the other ones. Okay, so like that you're going to continue sewing until you get to the end like this. So I finished sewing, and here I have the two tails. This one is the tail of the chain, and this one is the one I just finished. So, and instead of losing those tails through the inside, we're going to do it through the outside, because this is the border of our hat, and look how nice that seam is there. Don't look like you have sewed your piece in here. So now when you fold this part and here, you have this seamless, but you have to lose those tails through the other side. Okay, after you lose those tails, we're gonna close the top of our hat, and then we have finished our piece. Okay, so I will meet you here after lose those tails to finish our hat. Okay. I cut a long strand to sew the top. We're gonna start in here with the seam where I sew the hat, and now we're gonna work only in these stitches here, okay, and this one's on the top like this. That way when we pull or strand, they are nice and close, and it will look much nicer on our hat. So I decided to remove the pom-pom, and I lost those tails. I secured them well in the center, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sew a button, because I find that with the yarn, the pom-pom is a little loose, and since I have an elastic here, I can pass it twice through the button, you see, because it's stretched. That's the thing, the elastic stretch, and then even if I tie that strand very tight, it's still the pom-pom will be loose. This way as well, you can make all the hats you want, and you only need one pom-pom, because you will put buttons in all of them, and then you can change the pom-pom from hat to hat. That's another option that you have. So to do the button, don't sew the button right in the center, because right in the center you want to pass the elastic through. That way it's right in the center of the hat. You want to sew the button more to one side, okay? So I will sew the button, and then I will show you the end result. I wanted to give you the other option of placing the pom-pom on top of the hat. Look how much nicer and secure the pom-pom is this way. Before it was too wobbly, too loose. And like you see, it's very easy to put on and off. And you can wash your hat or put the pom-pom in a different hat that you don't gonna have any problem with it. So this is the leftover yarn. This is the part that I used to show you how to do the stitch. And it's enough here to make another hat, or to make a cowl, neck warmer, or a small scarf. No a very long scarf, because it's not that much more to have a very long. So now I'll put the hat in my mannequin, and I'll show you the end result. Well, this is the end result of the hat, and look how gorgeous that stitch look. Very simple and beautiful, and with a big pom-pom. That's the side, and like that is in the front. So with that border, it look amazing. So like I mentioned, don't matter if you do a few centimeters more or less, because it's a big border. I love it. So I hope you guys like it, and give it a try, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And if you make this hat and you want to send me some picture, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Stem and Crochet, or my Instagram, Ruby Stem and Crochet. Please share my video with friends and family. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.